I have to tell you, if there's ever a day that you'd want to have smell-o-vision, today is the day. They call him the bread man. And to date, he has baked over 100,000 loaves of bread and given them away to spread joy. Oh, look at that, and to spread kindness from Brockport, New York. Here is Chet Frey. Chet, good morning, and thank you, because that looks amazing and delicious.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for visiting my kitchen. This is where I made those 100,000 loaves of bread.
So take us back to the beginning. What was the inspiration for doing this?
Well, I love food, and I love pizza, and I was trying to make the perfect pizza. I could recall a pizzeria from my growing up in Buffalo, and I could taste, in fact, you can taste it when you think about it. I could taste that pizza. And I told my children I was going to make the pizza for them on a Monday night, and they didn't believe me. And I made it. They tried it. They tasted it, said it was good, but it didn't taste at all like the pizza I remember. So I made it the next day. I made it every day for 3 weeks. And my children are so sick of pizza, they wanted to move out, by the way.
Sounds so good. I like the trial and error process.
In fact, I suggested that if you have children living with you longer than you want, just make pizza for 2 weeks and they'll leave.
That's so funny. How do you get your bread specifically to be so magical? How does it taste so good now?
Well, it's interesting. I started baking on Sundays. My son suggested to me I become a bread maker rather than pizza because he wanted to eat normal food. So I started baking bread on Sundays. And if you ever had the experience of baking or being somewhere where fresh bread is coming hot from the oven, it's magical. Taste, touch, and smell of bread just stays with you for a lifetime. So every Sunday I would bake. And then Monday mornings, I would take all the bread that I had left over and I would go to work and I'd put it on a table in the break room with a sign that said free bread. And I was amazed what happened. People came to work early on Mondays.
Wow.
Pretty remarkable.
Wow.
And they'd run to the table where the bread was, and they would actually pick up a loaf of bread and they'd actually hold it to their chest and they'd all smile. And I realized a loaf of bread seemed to do something that I didn't completely understand. But I brought bread every Monday. Yeah, I brought it every Monday morning for 3 years, except for one day. I forgot to bring the bread.
Oh no!
The first lady in the building started screaming, "What? No bread today? What? No bread?" I ran down there and said, "Oh my gosh, I forgot it. I left it on my counter." And she kept yelling until I went to my car, went home, brought the bread back. When I brought the bread, she took it, she held it to her chest, and I realized it wasn't the bread at all. It was the kindness that she was seeking.
It was the generosity. I mean, listen, you are speaking our language. Kelly is a I wish she were here. She's such a bread fan. I don't have your bread, but I have a Dodger dog, and it's true. Like, bread near the body makes you feel good. Just before we let you go, and your kindness is remarkable, and it's being so well received. Just some math. How many loaves are you baking per day? How much flour have you used? Give us some of the quantities.
Well, I baked about 100,000 loaves, which is about, maybe 150 cups of flour, which is about 50,000 pounds of dough, which is 25 ton, 1,050-pound bags. But I've been doing it for 19 years, and it's kind of a remarkable hobby. But all of that changed with COVID. All my speaking engagements were canceled, and I started putting bread in the red wagon at the end of the driveway. I've been doing it since March 23rd. I've never missed a day, and the same magic happens. The children come, their parents come, they ride their bikes, they drive their scooters, they come in cars, but they all want bread. In fact, today's pretzel bread day, but there's something about the spirit of community that happens through a loaf of bread and a little bit of kindness.
You are warming our hearts and the hearts of others. Thanks for coming on. That is Chet, the bread man, and the guy ate pizza and bread. How are we not related, Chet?
The bread
Thanks
man.
again.
Love it.
Take care.
Take care, buddy. We'll be right back. What a good guy.